We are here, another episode.
It's been a while.
Paul, oh fuck. Oh no.
We never got Paul back in the studio.
Yes.
Or at least not that I remember.
No, we tried, and we have to try to get him again because I already did a fuck up. As you know, I
Left some microphones off.
yeah. I was so embarrassed, and Paul deserves much better later. But we're gonna try to get him on. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Twin Chickens Podcast. We got your boy. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. Dude, first of all, how have you been? You've heard my ramblings, and we'll kind of go over them here in a second. But how have you been? Tell me about your life woes. What's new?
Let's see if I can unpack it and remember everything. But everything's been... This past week has been just a bit of a lot. More so like emotionally than anything else.
Okay.
Like everything's been fine. You know, I've been working still consistently the same hours and playing pianos and stuff. And over the past couple weeks, it's been like a little disappointing because every time I go out to like different bars and restaurants and I'm ready to go like get some business.
Yeah.
And further extend my name, it's all the places I go to or look up and ready to like that I have on the schedule. Like, oh, I'm going to go visit this place. I look it up and they're temporarily closed, or they're permanently closed, or they have hour changes that they're like, hey, we don't open until 4 p.m. Like, great. I have plans every day for the next 2 weeks. It's like shit. But that's been frustrating. And then well, I guess I won't really go into it, but I'm having some relationship like issues and taking a break from things. And I've had a lot of reflection this week over the past couple of days. Realizing how toxic of a person I have been, and healing from it and trying to make myself better. I've been okay, but it's been nice. I've had more genuine moments with myself, just by myself, and finding the really good things that make me happy, and finding the fun moments that I can laugh at myself for. Doing all the good stuff. But
see, it always well, I don't think you've broken up with this person yet, your significant other, but you know, there always comes a point where I was in the same spot where I am too toxic for, and even though it was one of the better relationships that I've ever been in, when that happens, I pulled myself out. They didn't break up with me. I was just like, no, I'm gonna end this because I just can't.
Right, and I won't really go into it, but like I had a good conversation. We agreed upon, like, she brought it up, and I like heavily resonated with it, that needing like a break is necessary to be able to reflect and really realize where it is at. Because while there was like, it's been several months and I've really enjoyed it, realizing now how awful like, even though there's, you know, like I just mentioned, there was a lot of good moments, I've been toxic just by lack of understanding certain things. So I'm reading a couple books that's been lent to me and things, but
that's good, man. You're on your journey.
But I mean, it's like, even if there are things that go south or even worse, and you know, there's always the worst things ahead of us in life, but I don't know, just making the most of it and being happy with what happened and moving forward with it. Because otherwise, if you don't move forward, then like, it doesn't matter how far you fall as long as you get up. But if you never get up, then that's the problem.
You know, there was a great anime that I saw. It was a romance one, obviously, and it's My Little Monster. It has like a really good quote on it. With one of the main male characters, he's like, life has a funny way of balancing itself. Like, one day you could have a terrible, day. It could be the worst day of your life. Someday in the future, it could happen the next day. It could happen in a year from now. It'll find a way. Something will happen that'll balance that equally terrible part. Something good. I thought that was amazing. And I've seen this anime like 14 times, and like, it just never hit until I saw it. And I'm like, this is fucking brilliant. And yes, when you understand yourself, like when you take yourself out of a relationship or just like take a break, it does wonders.
Absolutely. And it's like really necessary to have that time away, that I'm realizing. Like, I know, recognizing some of my traits, like when I hang out with somebody, like it's really easy to lose myself into like being with that person, where I'll spend too much time with any said individual, where it's like early childhood friends or just friends I've had through my teenage years. Like, I'll get attached or just like spend too much time with them, that over X amount of time, it doesn't matter if it's short or a couple years, like there is burnout, and it's just either on my part or their part, or there's just like something conflicting. So it's just good to have that.
Well, it's always good to have space and boundaries, you know? For me and you, going through our entire friendship, you did touch upon that. There might have been burnout or something, but I've always constantly seen you as like a beacon of fun that I could just let loose and, just unwind for a bit.
Yeah.
Regardless if you feel the same way, it's totally up to you. I don't force you to be anything or to see it the same way I do. I just see it that, like, we're, If I had a child, you'd be very close to what I would consider a child. All these life lessons I give to you are not free. You have to pay them back eventually. Sorry.
Keeping it highly. God, yeah. You're like my grandpa.
Yeah. Anyway, well, going back to that, what I actually wanted to talk about was the process of your album, because not only have we not spoken to each other in like quite some time, we took a week off pretty much. This whole week. Not working on any production stuff because last week I mastered 4 of your songs, I believe. And still, we're working on the album. But Gilbert brought up a really good point of like, oh, we should really delve into what every single song is and all that stuff. And then obviously I'll go over my own trauma and everything, what's going on with me, because I mean, there's a lot already that's already talked about in Deep Talks. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link below. But something I haven't talked about on there was me becoming something more of a being, which we'll talk about later. For right now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and let's talk about your album. So how many songs do you have on your album right now currently?
I think it's like 12 or 13. I still am like continuing to write songs, and so I think there's going to be like 1 or 2 on this pre-release that'll be not on the album. Just for like current events and things that each song specifically, like I need to look at my list and see like what the songs are to actually talk about them. But
sure thing.
Each of them were just a specific moment in time of like how I felt in that moment. And usually they don't take that long to write. Like normally I can write a song in a couple hours and finish it. But there's other songs like Immersive, which, well, that song specifically, whether you guys understand it or hear it or not, eventually you'll realize it's been a year or 2 in the making. Like it's been a really long time to actually develop that song. Yeah. Because there's like, these ideas and bouncing around, moving things around, trying new things. And it's just never settled quite right until like this past like month or 2.
Yeah, which is crazy, man. Like a lot of these songs that you showed me that were going to be on your album, there's a couple that like just didn't make the cut or just kept getting,
I had 25, if not more songs. I went through like the past 3 or 4 years of my
discography
Ableton project. So I had 100 or 110 songs that I've done in my Ableton project, like up until like December or something. Looked at it and was like, okay, what are the actual like decent ones? And I picked 25 out of them. So it was like 25% of it. And then I was like, okay, I need to actually pick better ones. And then I was ranging it, thinking I'd do more piano stuff. Yeah. But I've come to realize for this project, I just want like more singing style songs.
Sure. Yeah. More traditional kind of things.
It'll be a different project to have instrumental.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've been happy with, as I've really started to write like 10 plus more songs in this past like month or 2. Yeah. Swapping out the bad songs or songs that aren't as good as the ones I want to express with more authentic uniqueness. Yeah, and every single song, this is what me and Gilbert were talking to, because like I showed him just a couple samples of what we were working on already, because he was genuinely curious, and he's like, dude, every fucking song is different. It has its own feel, and it's funny because like there's a point where you can hear a song and you know who that artist is. And it's weird. It's either the vocals or the instrumentation or whatever the fuck. Right. With yours, it's all over the place, and yet I still know that it's you. That's what's crazy to me. Like even with going to like immersive, you know what I'm saying? Like so different. One's like a more Jamaican kind of like stripped down version of one of those kind of songs, and then immersive is more of it's a cross between like alternative funk rock, like rap or whatever. It's there's like all of these different things to it, and I'm like, holy shit, man. And even as I look through more of the songs, like, dude, every single song is different. Right. And it's been a lot of experimentation, this whole process of like uncovering what the album truly means to me versus just like, oh, hey, here's the initial thought process going behind it was taking the several years of old music and putting it out and then it wasn't until these past few weeks of writing new stuff that it's been, okay, here's what the concept of this album is. It's really abstract, like going all over the place to really reach certain lengths and bounds of like, okay, what can I actually really achieve here, rather than old shit that is relevant.
Well, I mean, relevant to a point of like when,
in a sense,
because like a lot of my stuff that I've mixed and mastered, what was it, Feels Like Fiction was the first song I ever put out on DistroKid that came out to Spotify and everywhere, and that song has been like it came out in 2018 and I wrote it in the same year and produced it in the same year, but there's other songs that are like Alone Under has been like a 10-year thing, and they just, one day you're feeling it and one day you're not. It's just kind of how it goes for writing music. I'd like, at least that's the way I see it, you know?
Right. And this past week, like with how like rough it's been interesting, like how much of an emotional attachment you have to songs too. Like I wrote a song called Hot Stuff and like finished like mixing it better yesterday, but I wrote it, I think it was yesterday, the day before, but I wrote it, and it was like over the past week there's been just like a lot of tears and crying, just like over like thinking about things and whatnot. But it's interesting like how you can put any emotion or feeling that you're currently in, like lifestyle or not, it's really expressed thoroughly through like music, depending on how much you develop it. Depending
on that, dude, because my whole thing has always been, I usually create what I consider to be my best songs when I'm the most hurt, and I purposely put myself in those positions so that I go hear my mixing console and I do something until I feel good. That's the point. And it's weird because every single song that I have made it's not lyrics, it's just all electronical stuff, that the ones that just came out like that, like Feels Like Fiction or Alone Under, and even Echoes of Us, those have been the ones where like I'm just hurt. I'm hurt so bad, and I made something that makes me feel at that time good.
Right.
And I never put it together until now. I'm actually talking about it right now a lot. That's why I wrote those songs. But anyway, going back to your album, I have a lot of ideas for you that I already, I won't discuss here because there are kind of marketing tactics. But what do you want to achieve with your album? Because that's something that I was curious about even before all this stuff. What do you want? Popularity, recognition? Do you want to be, how do I say this? Are you just trying to use this to achieve more credibility to yourself?
Really, it feels so ironic with quite literally this week it's been a lot of self-discovery, and I'm realizing that's all really my life is turning out to be, like uncovering my own truth and what I actually want. Like the staple of my current week has been, what do I actually want? And so it's been interesting just exploring. And so doing music stuff and writing albums and writing my own songs is not only fragments of time, which we've just discussed and expressed, it's also just like seeing how far I can extend like a certain idea and explore. Like I haven't ever really tried doing like Jamaican style stuff, but it wasn't until I was like coming up with the bass part that I was like, okay, I'm gonna just keep adding elements and learning how to improvise through a workstation rather than just on one solo instrument. It's putting together more ideas that are all my own. It's mind-blowing, but it's super cool to just be able to freely explore. And having developed this skill over a couple years and having piano for more than 15 now, it's really cool to have at least one source of artistic create, like a medium that I can explore with comfortability and way more knowledge now than I've ever had. To be able to really, I guess I'd say explore, but
but it really came down to when we first met in Century, and I mean, dude, I gave you Ableton, and I did it willingly because I cared a lot about you and what I felt. Like I said, when we were back in college, I felt like we had the same goals and the same kind of things, and I related a lot to you. So, and I knew that I gave you my version of Ableton. I knew that shit was going to take off. And only to see it now manifest into all these songs.
You've utterly
changed your life. Yeah, I know.
You took the words out of my mouth.
But I know.
You have quite made an impact on my life.
It cost $925 for that version of Ableton. Never once have I charged you for it. I've only just wanted your friendship. And maybe like an ice cream cone. But that's besides the point. You know, whatever. I'm not a vengeful person.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we find ourselves now, man. Today is our studio time. Usually we have studio times on Mondays, and whenever we can make them up on Fridays or even Wednesdays are usually great. And we haven't really had a time to do a podcast, but there's a lot to unpack this week already. And you already told me about a lot of your stuff. And even beforehand, I told you my situation right now currently is that I'm trying to find work for my business again. And it's really funny because like we were talking about self-manifestation. That like I told you, like I felt the fear of like I'm gonna lose my apartment, I'm gonna lose everything, and I need to do something. And then the next day I get hit up with like, oh, our old contractor, whatever, and like he has a project, and then my dad's friend has a project, and then it felt like everything was working out. I applied to different places, and then the next day nothing. Like it fell apart. But I did have other opportunities for me that I just didn't take. I didn't go with those, which I could have. And now reflecting all about that, not sure if this applies to your music or just you right now relevant, but what I was saying before was that, and even to the people just listening right now, whoever, you really can't take things for granted. You know, when things come out, you know, we already talked about appreciating things, but like it's about opening yourself to possibilities that are beyond, that could be beyond us in the future. These Absolutely. Little things that opened up, like when I said, when I gave you Ableton, look what the fuck happened with that.
And being it's really interesting to think about conceptual. Like there's even ideas of just openness in general, not to even get specific, but the word open, like it's logistically makes so much sense in a lot of ways, but to actually be able to feel like certain events unfold and to have the experiences, like your experiences are totally different from mine, and we could have the same thing happen to us, but with an open mind of like adapting to a situation, adapting or desiring something, it'll unfold in its own ways, and that's beautiful too. Yeah,
and that's why I'm seeing it, man. Like right now, I've made a lot of mistakes in trying to do all this stuff, man. Like in terms of like trying to become who I want, but ultimately I know that like we talked about it too. Like you fail. The meaning of fail is part of life. We're supposed to fail all the time, regardless of in relationships or in music or in any kind of stuff. For me, I genuinely feel that we truly die or like lose our piece of ourselves when we actually choose to accept it. You know what I mean? To choose to accept defeat or all that stuff. And I'm not that kind of person. Right now, I feel hopeful for the future for myself. I don't know what will happen tomorrow or the next week, but I just know that and we were talking about this too, because I took like 2 months off of work or 3 months, I was able to accrue so much knowledge. And in the process of getting that knowledge, I'm in the process of almost losing my apartment. So I'm this, you know, who knows what will happen? Only God knows, if you believe in God or if you believe in whatever entity. And that's kind of where I'm at, where I was telling you, there are nights when I was, I mastered Cult of Vampires finally, and it's out, which is awesome. Well, thank you for the shout out too, when you did that.
Absolutely.
It's fucking huge, man. People don't, even Gilbert was like, dude, I'll do a shout out. Like, let me give you a thing. I'm like, this is fucking great, man. Little things like that really add up to like, holy shit, I really do feel like all of that was worth it, because when I was mastering Cult of Vampires, it was like, 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning. Just going over. My own madness, you know? Not thinking about the future, but thinking about, I want to make this the best sounding possible. And in the process of that, it's the same thing with my back. In the process of becoming an artist, in the process of making music, there's always a sacrifice. And I thought about that too. Other musicians, I don't know, maybe Taylor Swift, Elton John. I would say I relate more to an Elton John in terms of his life, you know? Mm-hmm. More different aspects than others.
Yeah, he's in the Beatles.
Just gonna let that slide. I almost grabbed this piano and just fucking threw it over.
Enlighten me though. What were you saying?
So in most cases, you know, we all go through hard times, obviously, but there's a point, and there's a new Elvis movie coming out too, which is going to come out sometime, I believe, this year, which almost all biopics and almost every artist kind of seems to go through this cycle of they have something special, they achieve greatness, they fall, and when they fall, there's something that happens when they fall that they fix themselves in a way it's not perfect, but for them to keep living and to become a better person or a better version of the person that they were before, in any case.
Right.
And I feel like I am the exact same way, where like I've done, like, I feel like I achieved something great with Cult of Vampires. In the process, yeah, I could go on a bender right now. I could start drinking. I could start doing all this stuff. But I had so much time to self-reflect being in here that I all I really care about is not money. I really just care about knowledge. And I was telling you this too, almost as a joke. And I wanted to become omnipotent. I really do want to become an all-knowing person.
And tell me a little bit about that. I'm curious what your definition of how you want to see your omnipotence.
I hate the fact, you know this so much. I hate the fact that I don't know the answers to stuff, and then I'm stupid. Because like in terms of working out, for example, I started working out, and I figured out that like my problem with working out was that when I wake up, I am hungry and I'm gonna pass the fuck out. That's a problem. You know what I mean? But I realized working out in the morning is probably the best way to start your day. You know, you wake up and you get the blood pumping. The only problem was that if I do work out, I will pass out and then I'll wake up 2 hours later. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I mean.
Has that happened to you?
No, I just can't get up for like an hour. I'm just tired. You know, I'm like, oh, fuck this. But nothing too crazy like that.
Right.
So here's my solution that I never thought about. I've lived for 29 years now. I never fucking thought about this shit. You know, when I don't know if you had homeschooled. I don't know if this is the same stuff of like homeschool versus school or whatever. But when you're in middle school, and even in elementary school, dude, we work out for 1 hour. And we never gave a shit about it. Like, it just happens. You know what I'm saying? We never thought about it. It just happens. We were told to do that as kids. You know what I'm saying? They could say, oh, we're going to build a rocket. And I would have been like, sure. But they were like, work out. And I'm like, sure. For 1 hour a day.
And it's interesting. I've found more recently getting back into working out and my morning motivation, like I want to get better at it. But jumping out of bed, like as soon as my eyes open, first thing I do is like actually like breathe. Because like my breathing is like really condensed and reduced when I'm sleeping, so like waking up is taking like the deepest breaths I can, but then like maybe not immediately jumping out of bed, but within the first couple minutes I go downstairs and my motivation is watching a show, like an anime or a show, and working out to it, getting cardio and just lifting weights, because it just feels like it's repeating the same cycle that I used to have when I was going to a private school 15 years ago. Was like I would love to watch Saturday morning cartoons. And so getting to work out and watch cartoons, I get that same reward. And it also feels great to be able to, like, first thing you do, get your blood moving. So as long as the motivation to watch something on a certain TV is what gets me down there, and then I start moving, then it's a compounding effect.
See, that's what I'm saying. But you discovered that. It didn't, you know.
And I had to find it for myself. Everybody will have their own methods.
Yeah, and my method is this. It's not as cool as yours. So I just set out, I boil a pot of coffee, and I set out the milk. I don't pour, and I set up my cereal. And I don't pour the milk in the cereal yet. It's just out there. I'd work out doing my shitty ass push-ups, and I'll do like mountain climbers. This is what I was asking you about the drive, because in the drive it actually has a workout video that's not porn. I swear to God, it's actually something more. Yeah, Evan has my drive for all my external hard drives and stuff that has a bunch of videos of like TikToks and all that stuff. Whatever. I would do that. So I would work out. I would get up. I feel lightheaded as fuck, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is my cereal and my coffee. I get I get the fucking courage to get up there, and I eat, and then it goes away. Just like that. That's my routine. It's so simple, but I'm such a fucking idiot that it took that long to figure it out. And even right now with my financial status, I could have applied for leads. I could have done all these things to get leads, to get clients around and work around my schedule, because when I was working with my business, I'm a creature of habit, and we all are. And in my business, it's a 9 to 5. We have to work at these specific times because that's what it's allowed for us to work. Right. You know what I mean? We can't stay there till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. sometimes, depending on where we're at. So I was always accustomed to those times. So I never thought about the fact that, I can take a month off. But in between, I can start booking clients to have something in the background. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm so fucking stupid and egotistical that's how it came out. was I never thought about that middle thing. So last week, when things were starting to put together, I'm calling clients now. And I'm abusing my phone more than ever to call clients to get them to book me for an estimate or whatever, just to go see some stuff. Nothing has come out, but I realized that if I've done this sooner, I would be in a much better financial spot. But because of that, and this is what I'm saying, there's a price for knowledge, and there's a price that we have to pay to become great. Like I said, like these artists that came before us and all this stuff. There is a part of it that's support. There's a part of it that's us as a self-discovery person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For me, I realized that I wouldn't trade. I would have done things differently for sure, but the knowledge that I accrued now, with my knowledge, the knowledge that I know now, if I ever had like $12,000, I would be set for life. I know how to turn that money into not going on vacations, not to go to expensive restaurants, but to fuel that money into making better productions of things that are worth watching, that are gonna have a revenue coming back. And that's where my life is now heading towards. I see a bigger picture. I just need to get money.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So as much as like I seem very nihilistic and very like crazy right now where I'm fucking sitting, you know, I have a plan now.
But it's all just mapping it out too. Like you see and know what you want, and like that's what I'm gonna be doing as soon as I get home. Like just mapping out like my life and figuring out what I want, and really visualizing what it looks like, having it on paper and then visualizing it. But I think like you know what you want now, and just like making the plan for it. It's been so. The good things about the past couple months has been like ever since I left like all the bands I was in, has really been disciplining myself in the best ways.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's bad habits and this and that, but of my like work ethic, you know, there's pitfalls and there's days where I'm definitely struggling, but the consistent effort to keep doing something and pushing past it and like looking for the bigger picture has been really nice. Like I've had like usually just a legal pad worth of just to-dos. Yeah. So here's my to-do list, and like I find the easiest ones to do and cross them off, and then every week or two it's just like, okay, crumple that, or you know, copy over the ones I haven't gotten done yet, add the new ones, throw the old one away, and keep going. Yeah, that's why for me, dude, that's such a powerful thing that you have right there. Everyone has their own tools of like making them be more productive and stuff. When I got this planner, it fucking changed my life. It's right fucking there or whatever. And if you see that board, there's a whiteboard that's right next to you. That is the Patreon board that I have for everything. Everything is mapped out in great detail. And now every day, it's not... Here's the thing, dude. Even if I have all this time, there's still not enough time in the day. Right. It has to be planned. And it's... Oh, there was a great quote. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year.
Yeah.
And that's really powerful. So it's just like remembering to take like little steps and being okay with the process. And it's just enjoying the little things too.
No, I mean, I enjoy a lot of little things here. My whole fucking art space here is meant to be an expression of creativity. That's what it's meant for. And actually, I saw this video too of like, which is a really great fucking video. I'm gonna link it down below because I think it's really quite powerful. Of like, we were talking about external, internal, like what's it called, expressions of becoming something great. Like, why do you play piano, for example? Do you play piano to become better, or to what's it called, or to just fill a void in yourself? Like, there's a difference between someone telling you to play piano. That's what I'm saying, and there's a difference between you wanting to play piano. And finding out those differences, for example, is what really defines this little key philosophical questions that we go for granted. And ultimately, it's about the point of like living to our truest selves. And this video is fucking amazing. I'm not doing it justice because there's a lot more to it about living, going when you go to see a concert, instead of like filming the whole thing, which people usually do. Why not just live in the moment? You know, we usually don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not this like... this breakthrough of like, I'm here right now, I can experience this. Who the fuck am I gonna show this shitty ass video to that I'm filming right here in the fucking state? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I guess an argument like of what I reflect on my own life is that you take a video of something in hopes that you can make the memory last a little bit longer, but it's only for yourself to view later, just to not be able to enjoy the moment as much now. You know what? Like it's very contradictory. Like, okay, so I mean, I suppose you can still enjoy a moment. Then there's going to be differences, but
I mean, it's to each their own, really, because we can't really change the landscape of human nature of what we are now. Because when you find something interesting, if I ever found like a fucking bag of donuts downstairs, which I did, on Valentine's Day, there's like a Dunkin' Donuts. It's, like I said, it's weird shit that's been happening to me. People already know I see the number 76 every single day. I've seen it today already. It fucking scares the shit out of me. But there's a point where like there's a reason why I'm seeing this. I feel that there's a reason for it. So when I was leaving my house to go get Taco John's, I was fucking starving, and there's like a fucking right outside the doorsteps, the whole tray of Dunkin' Donuts in a bag, just left right there in the steps, sealed, completely sealed. And I'm like, well, I'm not fucking going now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grab it, obviously. I went to Taco John's, but I'm like, what the fuck? Shit like that. You just can't. I can't make those things up. They just happen. It's just weird shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and I captured that moment because I'm like, no one will ever know except for me that I was hungry and this is there. There it is right there. Like, how fucking, come on. Anyway, there's a lot more to go over it, and I'll link the video because it really is a great video. But in terms of, wrapping all this up, in terms of your album, we have a lot of stuff to do, and I have a lot of great ideas that I want to throw at you later. But the whole point of this is that I wanted to unpack, who you were as a person creating this album, the journey you took, and I think we went through a lot. I don't know if you have anything else to say about this one.
No, it's I'm trying to reflect on the process that's like it's actually been. Because it's mostly just a reflection of my own musical growth. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it, I suppose here's a little tidbit of most of the songs, or at least a good portion of them, are self-reflections and places of growth.
Yeah.
Like All Before, Immersive, and a few others specifically in the album that are going to be there are me talking to myself about myself. I mean, not that it's maybe apparent, but it's just knowledge that I've accrued and wisdom that I want to make sure is there for me when I need it most. When I'm down in the dumps or not in a good vibration, I can look to my own doings and bring myself to where I need to be. And it's also just another personal reflection of being there for myself, because I've always seeked out like other external things for happiness, external things for passing the time or doing this and that, and never doing things the way I want to. And so finding music and doing this album is really discovering my own path of what I want to do. And so it's allowing me to teach myself things and remind myself and fill my head with all the positive things I want to hear.
And there's a lot of good things that are happening too with this album, man. I'm really excited, and I mean, I thank you all the time, but like, because of your album, because I was able to work on different sounds of your album, I was able to do, to me, what I consider to be one of the best songs I've ever produced, and it came from working with the album. So there's a lot of things that are internally happening with the album with you, but there's a lot of external things that are moving with me, like with the album, what the effect of the album is for me as a producer.
Right. And like, it's cool to see that you've been able to grow just from the use of having a project to work on, and be able to really make things sound good and accrue your own knowledge of how to make something sound awesome. And it's been a fucking journey, and I still can't wait. I mean, I still can't understand like how all this stuff works. Obviously, I'm still a learning producer, obviously, but there's a lot of amazing things that I'm working on with a lot of other people that is still gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's this little galaxy that revolves around this, that when we start to make things happen, it affects other things too. Definitely. Your album affects time, affects our time together, it affects our relationship, it affects more things. And I don't know, I might be reading more into this. Right, but no, it's also true that like works of art, and hopefully the greatest works of art in general, are like impactful and have personal reflections for other people. So like you can see a reflection of yourself through any piece of art. And it doesn't matter what it is, but you define what art is for yourself. So if you see a painting or just a scar in the wall, you can see in random reference, you can see something of yourself about like how you resonate with it. Absolutely. And that's what I would hope that like it's all for myself. Like, I'm starting to realize that the music I do is for me, and it's cool that other people, like when I'm playing piano live at Menards and things, it's cool that other people enjoy it, but paid practice for me, and I get to enjoy it, and it's nice that other people can enjoy it too. But
yeah,
it has to definitely come from a place of like own fulfillment, self-fulfillment, rather than seeking the desire of like getting something out of it.
Yeah, and that's what that video that I was saying really talks about, really hammers in that point, because there's a clear difference being told to play and playing for yourself. Huge difference. In any case, there was what else was I gonna say? I think we have everything. Oh yeah. What was it? I got a new bass player. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think I saw on Snapchat you guys had a rehearsal the other day.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. His name is Rich. He's actually, we are very similar people in terms of how much darkness there is inside of us, and how we find comfort finding darker things to fill in our void.
Oh, okay. So you both like anime.
Yeah.
I see.
He gave me this book, well, to read. It's body horror. It's called Shiver. I showed this on Deep Talks, but it really is about exploring the darkest psychosis of our mind, kind of similar to a Rorschach test.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because I never thought about it either, but there's a reason why I have a dark humor. The reason why I don't like body horror stuff like too much, but there's a reason why I find comfort in some places of darkness. And I thought about, like, why the fuck is that? You know, why can I watch some disturbing shit and feel okay with it? Like, I was watching, I don't know, it's weird. I was watching like Jackass, like people getting hurt, and I was eating cereal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with, like, it just doesn't disturb me. I was watching The Godfather. I watched The Godfather for the first time. It was awesome. I saw the first one. I'm in between watching the second one. It just takes time. It's a 3-hour fucking movie.
Oh, right.
You know,
a little bit lengthily.
Yeah, a little bit. So I take my time with this, but there's people getting shot. There's a horse's head in a guy's bed, like all just a bloodied head, and I'm just like, oh, these are good marshmallows in here. You know, I'm fucking
right.
I'm like that, but I also have this self-reflection of who I am as a person. But yeah, Rich is he finds comfort in these things, and he's really explored my mind with music more so than anyone has ever in my world as well. Someday you'd meet him. He wants to do the podcast eventually too, one day, either Twin Chickens or Deep Talks, but he's a very interesting person to talk to, man. At least I think so. Yeah,
that's super cool. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere too.
To like have that connection, and going on with the, I guess another cool thought. I forget how I was going to relate this to other things, but regardless, there's a new word that's been added to my dictionary. It's compersion.
Look, man, you can't. This house is a low-income hold state, I should say. When you throw big words in here, it raises blood pressures.
Hey, man, I had high blood pressure and stress out the shit. You know, I had a fucking adrenal gland the size of a large apple.
Yeah.
We're relaxing here.
All right.
We're going to breathe. It's going to be okay.
Cool. All right. Explain what it is.
The word compersion, while it might not be in like certain recent dictionaries, it's the antithesis to jealousy. And just having that word in my dictionary for the past few days has been really uplifting. It's made my fucking day.
How so?
I've been able to reflect on a lot of moments of like wanting to be with friends, fear of missing out, wanting to be with a girlfriend, or her maybe seeking out other options, or this or that, just like random, really negative, low vibrational thoughts.
Yeah.
And being able to reflect and understand what I am to myself, and the use of compersion, of how I can incorporate that. In the book The Kabbalion that I was reading months ago, that was lent to me, there's the law of like polarity, where on one scale you have like in a screen like cold, hot, and you can't transfer cold to being a laundry hamper or something, you know, like
holy shit, I know this theory. Yes.
They have to be on the same spectrum, right?
Yeah, I know this.
On the same slide.
This is great.
And so I've always struggled with a thing of jealousy, at least with partners. And so it's really cool to reflect these past 2 days specifically, is that there's a word to go on the opposite side of jealousy that I had no idea. So there's jealousy and then compersion, which the way I've come to understand it is that, at least in my own life, the way I want to see it, it's a way of like parental love to a child.
Okay.
And so, like, if I wouldn't say unconditional love, but you have you're always really happy and proud that somebody's there for you. You may not be able to, at least in relationship situations, that, okay, you're like, as a parent to a child, you can't always be with this child, right?
Yeah.
And so you just make the most of like the moments and time you have spent with them, and you would hope that they get to spend time with you as well, or even close friends, I'd say. But just in the parental situation, like, your kid is going to go out and explore the world. So if it's in relationship or friendships, how is that not any different?
Yeah.
And so, like, you don't just
this is
say,
amazing.
I want to go see, like, you only love one grandparent. Like, oh, fuck you, grandpa. I'm only going to see grandma. Like, you can still love so much more. And that's my own just realizations of random things. But
real quick, check your phone, because I have so much to talk about. I think I just saw.
Interesting. 6:20.
Oh, no, did you have a message that you need to check?
I mean,
important ones, or no? We're good?
I mean, maybe. I'll check it later.
Okay. Just wanted to see if there was somebody here we need to go pick up. Like, oh, they're downstairs or whatever. But if they're good,
no, we're good.
Okay. So here's what I was gonna say. So my little sister, and this is perfect. Perfect that we just talked about this because of the word impersion. Am I saying that right? Impersion?
Compersion, like COMPERSION.
Sweet. I talked about this on Deep Talks too. We actually did a whole thing about talking about our exes. Funny enough. Talking about like the high points and low points of our relationship and what makes us who we are. Because after relationships, dude, we become something else, you know?
Dude, there's so much growth. Like, I can't begin to, like, I
know, this is what we talked about.
I'm utterly really depressed that I've caused so much pain in all the people I've ever seen. Friends or not, mostly the romantic relationships and interests have been me being an asshole. I mean,
I'm one of them. Yeah, it's happened to me.
And it really bothers me, but I'm learning to be okay with it. And out of the outcomes of like the aftermath of situations and conversations, we do become something different.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but it's also, I wouldn't want to change things at all. Like, no, even if I did go back in time, these are the most valuable lessons I've learned so far.
Yeah. And
I'm the culmination of all my experiences. So why would I change that and not have this fulfilling realization at this point?
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that like, there's everything that we went through makes us who we are, as like you just put it. And for me, I've grown the most as a person after breakups. I guess I should say even after darkness too, after low points in my life. And usually those low points usually come with breakups and all that stuff, because there is a low point. But then there's a point of self-reflection, which is what you're going through right now. And everything at the end of it is like, whoever you see next, if you go back to the same person, it's kind of funny, like, oh, it's not about like you're thinking about those things in the moment. Your physical attributes are changing. You know, your emotional context is now changing as well. It's evolving as you continue to walk forward. It's weird.
You learn to just exist differently.
Yeah.
Like, especially confronting with good conversation and heartfeltness, like identifying and verbalizing insecurities and fears.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like end of relationships. I was able to verbalize some of my very, very deep-rooted insecurities, and it sucked in the moment. It didn't feel good, but like after saying that, I really had this moment of like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
having verbalized that and being like, putting those things in front of my own face and seeing for what it is. It's really interesting because it's always been a problem. And manifests in its own way, but never knowing what to do or what it is. But by vocalizing it or attempting to vocalize it, it's like, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now I know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But having so much uncertainty or not educating yourself about yourself.
That is actually it.
Problems.
It does, man. And that's why everyone needs a time like this to just kind of unwind and talk about things thoroughly, because you get to actually talk what is in the recesses of your mind that we don't just do every often.
And I really fucking wish I wasn't so like, I've been simultaneously like learning how to build my own career aside from just having a 9-to-5, trying to be a working musician and build a relationship. And I feel like I've really put the relationship on hindrance and fucked myself over because I've been so busy trying to be a workaholic. Literally the song Another Day, Wake Up, Grind, and Sleep. It's literally been like, okay, I wake up, I do shit and work hours and then go hang out with people because I want to unwind. And I haven't spent enough time by myself to know what I want. It's just been like, okay, hey, I can make plans with people because it's fun. And not just taking the time to understand and break down the necessary steps of being myself by myself.
And that's what I was going to say too, dude. There is a sacrifice when becoming an artist or becoming something more than what you are. I told you, we make fun of this all the time, but there's a reason why I'm single. But I'm always saying this,
right? And it's interesting, especially in relationships. We want to. I found like the necessity, but realizing I don't have to put that pressure on myself, but wanting to be so much more for somebody when they really don't want it. Yeah. Like a desire to actually fulfill somebody's void or be there for somebody, but why put that on yourself when if it's not what they even want? No,
and that's what I was saying. Like, for me, I'm too busy, dude. There's not only the money situation that I got going on, but every day is a project. Same as you. Every day is a thing. It's not just something that can happen.
It's just a learning curve over time because, like, I wouldn't trade this for the world. Like, even if I'm busy as fuck and know I could spend the rest of my life by myself and probably put myself in a bad spiral if I did that. But regardless, like, I know I would be busy as fuck and will be, but making sure to take breaks for myself and breaks with people because I know that's what I enjoy doing, so it's making sure allowing enough work to do, feel like I'm doing what I want with my work life, but not to let it overwhelm and just become that's all I do.
No, your whole journey right now is to just figure out what you want to do. Starting with that first, which is what you're on, that's your path right now. For me, after that, it's about creating your happiness, what makes you happy, creating yourself, your little world. The whole point of that relationship, if you were to ever have one, is that you get to invite somebody into your world. And whether or not they respect that or they actually cherish the time that you guys are together, that's how you know if it's a real relationship. That's what I've come to understand. Definitely. And for me, obviously, like I said, I'm too busy. If I were to have someone here, I would not give them the time or attention that they deserve, which is very important, because then I would just be fulfilling my own needs, which is just selfishness. You know what I'm saying? There's all of these things that one day I would have one. I do plan to have kids. I do plan to have a relationship, and I would rather wait the rest of my life for the person that I would want to invite into. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather wait and find a person that's worth bringing in than just go out and just bring whoever the fuck I want. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right, but who's to say you can't also just make friends and explore a little bit too?
Well, that naturally happens, right? That naturally, like in terms of, like, for me, there's a dedication with band stuff, right? There's and I don't go out and hang out with people. It's usually band and music production. There's a sacrifice, like I was saying, that needs to happen in order for something great to manifest. There has to be a sacrifice. I don't, even when I go to Latin practice, there's a reason why I'm there. I'm still with friends. I'm still with people. You know what I'm saying? And we still get to have that little banter that everybody needs. Absolutely. But always is working towards a goal, something bigger than myself. That's the way I operate. I operate in a way that there is no time for family. There is no time for friends. And if there is, it's a blessing. Whenever there is a little moment like that, it's a blessing that you got to cherish. But I'm the only person that, in my world, that would cherish that. Not my friends, not my family. It's me. And when those moments, because I take a step back, as you do, like you always say. Take a step back and you're like, I could die right fucking here and I would be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I had that realization today.
Yeah.
I was like, this could be my last meal and I could be happy with it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There you go, man. There's so many more things to unpack, but honestly, dude, it really does come down to creating your happiness first, which is like, there's all a process of learning, man. And we go through so much already every day. I don't think I had anything else. Yeah. Got rich, released Cult of Vampires. We've got a plan for you for your stuff. And, shows hopefully coming up mid-March, which obviously I'm gonna try to get you on there. At least I'm gonna try. Essentially, to have you, because like how fucking. Okay, this is a little bit inside of the marketing plan I had. But have you ever thought about playing those songs live?
Yes and no. I thought about playing like some of the songs when I was first coming up with the idea of actually putting together an album, but I never really considered like actually getting ready to play them live.
What if you did? Not all of them, but the ones that would be manageable for a show.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think like I just thought about like, okay, how the fuck, cause Cult of Vampires, I'm gonna play that live. I plan to play that live. I made that song with Blake so that we could not only release it out in the world, but holy fuck, if we played that live, it'd be shit, you know what I'm saying? And I figured it out. I figured out how to do it with them, with the band or whatever. All I'm saying is that like you have, you know, when there's like these little opportunities that occur, we just have to take them. You know what I mean? Wrapping it all the way back to the beginning. If there is a time for you to come up on stage and you have like a song, like, dude,
I would love that.
There's a business card and for like, here you go.
Yeah, I'll give you mine.
Yeah, exactly. Closing thoughts, man. We went through a lot today, and there's already a lot already over my head that I can't even think of. But yeah,
indeed, and I'm excited for. It's interesting to think that there's, what was I reading? People making New Year's resolutions and things. They're
yeah.
Like, oh my God. Well, not the New Year's resolution specifically, but that I can't wait to see what happens in 2022 or this and that.
Mm.
But you don't wait to see what happens. You make something happen.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what we create for ourselves, using
Absolutely.
those words very carefully. In this next coming year, because we've known each other for 4.5 years.
Well, I would say 4.5 magical years, but yes, okay, whatever.
Don't patronize me.
This is why we work so well. Can continue, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been amazing to have such great friends.
Yeah, man.
Growing up and maturing through my life.
Yeah, man.
And I couldn't be more appreciative to have you there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always gonna be there for you. As I've always said, whether you want me there or not, I'm just, you know, I'll sneak in your house one day and be like, "Hey, what's for dinner?" You know what I'm saying? But I'm always gonna be there for you, no matter what. To offer wise words of wisdom, and I think I'm gonna get my body back, dude, and I'm gonna like show it to you, like naked and everything. And I want you to tell me if you feel the same way from when we were back in college, from when you saw me as a wee lad,
oh my God,
as the promise of the next president of Century College.
Dude, would you become the president of Century College? What if we took next year? We have to wait a year. It has to be 2023, but we take all of 2023, lose our jobs, become homeless, but we figure out everything and anything we can do to get you to become the president of Century College.
For maybe one day.
We want you in to like maybe sign a contract like, yes, I'm going to be doing this for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But only work a day. I don't know.
Maybe. And it's going to be naked half the time. It's just going to be me in a sports coat. Once you get in the
office, you just take off all your clothes.
It's just the way I work, yeah. I sign documents the best with this.
I was having a conversation with Kevin about this. Like, it's concerning how awesome your musical talent is when we're gone. Because you always jokingly, to me it seems jokingly, that you're like, oh yeah, you strip down naked and then start playing guitar. But no, I'm coming to realize you do play better.
Who, me?
When you're naked, yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without question. There's something in we talked about this too, man. We're like becoming like
primal.
We can't escape who we are. You know, like I'm a person that like is rooted in a primal DNA, dude. I would just like honestly, man. But like anyway. Yeah, the music. It's good stuff.
I guess I don't have any more thoughts. How about you?
No, neither am I, dude. Like I said, right now it's my current thing. Even though I'm every day has been a process of like getting clients and trying to make money and trying to become more stable in this economy, because now I know I figured out what I need to do to be where I have to be. And some people don't have that clear roadmap. I figured it out. I just need money, and that's all I'm trying to do now. And in between those things, after a certain time, I always have time for studio time. I always have time for band practice and everything. So there's always a time in precedence. Now there's just not time for other things like friendships, like bars or stuff like that. There are times for that for sure. Professor Oak rules, from Pokemon. There's a time and place for that.
Yes.
Not here. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see life right now.
Indeed.
It's being selective with what you want to do. And it's not saying that I don't want to do like hanging out or go all that stuff. It's just
right, but allowing just like not as overwhelming things happen. So it's like being able to selectively choose, like you were saying, that it's not happening all the time. Like if you were to go out to eat all the time, you'd lose all your money.
Yeah.
But like picking and choosing when you do things with a little bit more restraint or just like knowledge of awareness of what you're doing, and
absolutely
you're way more happy about like the choices that you actually do make, rather than just unconsciously like shelling out whatever you want to do or like whim that comes off the top of your head.
Yeah, and it's just I just don't have time to fuck around like with anything. I'm always fully, and if I'm invested in a thing, or if I'm working on a thing, I'm usually very invested in it, and I try not to let any distractions happen.
Just remember, you have time for whatever you want. You decide your time. So I say it, my dad said it, and I hear you say it.
Your dad said it too?
No, that there's too much to do in too little time. Mm-hmm. And while that does resonate, I'm learning to unlearn that phrase, because you make time for what you want is what I'm then telling myself.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter like what happens. Like, yeah, there is shit to do, and we have so many interests and other pursuits that we want to make happen and real, but you make time for what you actually want. And so if you know what you want, coming to realize,
yeah,
that's what happens.
That's a great thing, dude. And I
just wanted to share that with you.
I appreciate that. And now it's on camera forever. The mics are on, right? Yeah. Okay. They're on. They're on.
Oh my god! If we just did this podcast, I'd be so pissed. Fuck. I wouldn't speak to you for another 3 weeks.
I know. Oh, but it was just so funny. All right, man.
It's been good.
Thank you guys for watching. Adios. See you later, and I'll talk to you some other day.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.